One day, about 4 years ago, I was doing some internet sort of research, and I came across some weaving that some artists had done from Arnhem Land, and I, in my kind of ignorance, had never known that weaving was actually being practiced as an art form in Indigenous communities in Australia. And I started to think about whether there would be some way of melding that traditional art or craft form with contemporary design. That was really the first sort of inkling I had of the idea, and then it took really 4 years to kind of develop the thinking, to find good relationships and the right art centre to work with, to understand the process, to investigate any cultural issues that might surround it, because I wasn't sure if it was appropriate or not. We were doing more and more work in lighting, and I guess people in our clientele would pay a bit more for a beautiful lampshade that was sort of sculptural and had a point of difference. So I took a couple of small frames up with me and went and talked to Dion, who was the art centre manager there, and Mavis, and showed them the frames. Oh, I know you don't know me from a bar of soap, but do you think this might be something that you'd be interested in doing? And Mavis sort of looked at it and was kind of a bit bemused, but she said, yeah, I'll try. And so she tried it, and of course her first lampshade was absolutely beautiful. And that was really where it began. One of the things that I worked out fairly early on was that we would always work through the art centre. The art centre pays the women, and we worked out a sort of a sliding scale for different sizes. So the women sort of who decided to do one of the lampshades would know in advance that they would get between, you know, X and Y dollars depending on which size. And the art centre was the one that determined which sort of level of payment they got. So we went to Arts Law around when the new art centre manager came on board at Elcho. We were very conscious of the fact that when we started this project, we wanted it to be a long-term sustainable business opportunity for the women and for us. We wanted to make sure that all that good groundwork and things was reflected in some sort of an agreement between us and the art centre and the artists. So that's where Arts Law has really come into it now. We're still working on agreements between Elcho and Koskela and the artists. So we've got a draft sort of an MOU, I guess, at the moment, which probably, to be honest, doesn't adequately deal with the copyright issue. And so that's something where Arts Law, I know, is working with the Arts Centre on sort of enunciating all of that and setting it out quite clearly. And because one of the features of the products is that we provide the form, but then it's completely up to each individual weaver to interpret that form however they like, it means that there is this kind of constant process of innovation, and I think that's been really exciting from our perspective, and I think it's probably meant that the women maintain their interest in the project as well. So we never sort of said from the beginning, like it became quite clear to me early on that replication wasn't something that the women were interested in, and it didn't really either, wouldn't really reflect their creativity enough. So we never dictate that we want certain colours or, you know, certain designs. And then as a result, every time when we get a new shipment, it's just really exciting because there's all these new things. So it's great.